This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, the Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. All right, I started this lesson off with Isaiah the 19th chapter, dealing with the coming civil war that's coming to this country. All right, and we know it says the Egyptians here versus the Egyptians, but we know through the spirit that is speaking about America, which is spiritually known as Egypt. And there is a civil war that is brewing in this country. There's a lot of factors in play that's really causing heavy division, mainly through this Trump administration. It's going to lead to a civil war. It's going to lead to Americans fighting against Americans. It's going to lead to this country being further divided through racism, through politics, eventually through economic statuses, economic woes, and eventually this place is just going to be on the brink of utter and total chaos, which is going to lead the cruel Lord Donald J. Trump to assume the position of a crazed authoritarian. And we already see this taking shape and taking form with him federalizing, ICE, federalizing the police department, and now getting ready to spread that over through 19 other states. And we know, you have to know that, a lot of this shit is being done intentionally, okay? And another thing you have to understand is that, you can't trust any of these mayors, these politicians, these governors, because they're all on the take. They're all brought and paid for by these elites, and they're going to be used to bring further division, to bring further strife, confusion, and ultimately to bring chaos, so that these elites can bring order out of all of the chaos. And I saw this. It's funny. I saw a video this morning about this, and then as I was reading articles like I do daily, I came across this one from the People's Voice, and I saw this in another news publication that I was reading, but it kept popping up, and I was thinking like, But like I said, this is just more, of things that we need to keep an eye out on. And as I was reading it, I was like, look, this is how these devils are gonna orchestrate to bring martial law, right? To allow this cruel Lord Donald Trump to be able to declare martial law, to lock down these cities, and basically for these elites to bring chaos, for them to ultimately be able to come against dissidents, to cause, to further be able to deem every American citizen a terrorist until proven otherwise. They're going to use this as a reason to, for the powers that be to shut down any opposing force to it. All right. And this will be used to stir up anger and strife and civil war and rebellion, so that these devils, especially Trump, can be justified in bringing in martial law and being that cruel Lord, and to rule with an iron fist. So let's check this out. It says Chicago mayor urges citizens to rise up and fight Trump's National Guard in the streets. You see, and this is exactly what these elites want. All right. They want chaos. They want you people to rise up. They want you to fight. They want you to attack these ICE agents and the National Guard and these different troops that they're bringing to so-called bring back law and order, to stop the crime, to come up against the gangs, and et cetera, so that it can be used for these elites to further be able to crush the American citizens, and to bring, civil war, to bring chaos and all the necessary events they need to seize ultimate power. So it says Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson openly urged defiance and unrest. And remember, like I said, you can't trust these mayors and these governors. And remember, these devils, they're looking to bring war on you so-called Southern tribes, you so-called Negroes. And who do you have here? A so-called Negro, a black mayor of a blue city, Chicago, telling the people we must stand up and rise and fight against Trump. And it says he urged defiance and unrest, declaring on MSNBC Sunday that his constituents would rise up in the street if President Trump sends if President Trump sends the National Guard to clean up crime. You see? And these and like I said, these mayors and these governors, man, they're all on the take. They're all going to be used to present it as if this is some grassroots movement that they're trying to fight back against Trump and his presidency and him trying to become a dictator, et cetera, et cetera. All these individuals are all on the take, man. But this is just more sorcery and witchcraft and trickery of this damn devil to get the desired results. And I'm not saying this is going to pop off. It's going to happen exactly as I'm saying it. But, this is the narrative we're going to continue to see until I feel, through the Spirit, speaking as a man, that eventually something like this is what's going to justify, them to come down with the sword for it to lead to Egyptian versus Egyptian, civil war, sedition, all prophetic signs come into pass. So that's something that we definitely should keep an eye on, and we can't be ignorant to these things. All right. It says, and remarks that sounded less like a policy stance and more like a call for violence and insurrection against federal authority. You see? And remember, this devil was very crafty and very sneaky, man. It wouldn't be beyond him to use this Negro here to rile up the people in Chicago, whether it's and remember, these devils can use agent provocateurs. They can use particular hired goons to make good on what Mayor Brandon Johnson is saying they need to do. They could hire agent provocateurs over there in Chicago when they come to attack ICE or plant a so-called incendiary weapon, or lick off a couple shots, or get into such a heated physical altercation with these ICE agents to where maybe one of the troops might get wounded or sent back to the spirit world, and it's going to allow him to be able to crush the rebellion and to be that ultimate cruel lord. And not only in Chicago, but expanded to all these other different states, to where once this happened, it might just all of a sudden spark nationwide unrest and people and insurrections and sedition and and chaos, so these devils can be justified in their stance. It says, we're going to remain firm, we'll take legal action, but the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city, Johnson said. You see? So let's play this one real quick.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against.
I don't know what that flag is behind him. It might be some significance to that shit. Who knows, But I don't know if that's a Chicago flag or what the hell it is. But that's interesting that they have that behind him. Maybe that'll mean something probably in the future. I don't know, maybe not, but I think that's odd that flag is behind him. But let's go.
Against tyranny, and if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
See? It says, according to a recent Washington Post article, the Department of Defense has been planning a deployment of National Guard troops in Chicago for several weeks. It says, in response to President Trump's recently calling him a grossly incompetent mayor, Johnson stuttered and accused the president of contemplating the most flagrant violation of our Constitution in the 21st century. He also claimed that Trump is attempting to conquer cities across America. It says, while law-abiding Chicago residents face dangers on a daily basis, Democrats and the mainstream media push doctored crime numbers, insisting that violent crime is falling, a narrative that makes the city very real, escalating chaos. But the point is, there is a lot of violence in Chicago. A lot of those YNs and them little wild ass niggas out there, hey, they do need to be addressed. All right. And, hey, who knows? Like I said, once they come to Chicago and go into some of these goon infested areas, who knows what might happen? Maybe some of those little YNs might be inspired by this guy's speech and take up arms, or like I said, or it could be a manufactured crisis, or something could be, manufactured to make it seem as if, one of those YNs or one of those gangs in Chicago, whether it be, one of the southern tribes or one of the northern tribes to mount up or who knows, but I just think it's something that we definitely should keep an eye on. And we know that these devils, they're very capable of, letting particular situations happen that were planned, but try to make it seem as if it's just random. But I think this is something that, hey, we should keep an eye on, man. It's just more of Satan's devices, all right? And this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, all right? So you should know that, like I said, you can't trust any of these mayors or any of these governors, because they're all on the take, man. They've all been hijacked. They've all been brought and paid for. And they're all, they all can be used by the powers that be to, to create certain situations, to be used to make things appear one way, but it's really not as it may seem, And now you're going to start seeing this being played in the news. You're going to start seeing this mayor probably get more fiery in his speeches, standing up, pointing the finger, Trump cussing him out, him cussing Trump out, them violating Trump's orders. And then eventually, something's going to pop off that's going to lead to this civil war. It's going to lead to, order ab chaos, man. But I thought this was interesting because it just keeps popping. It kept popping up today over and over. All right. And then we know that these devils want things to be destabilized. We know they want friction. They want conflict. They want chaos. They want you people to rise up against them carnally so that they can be justified in bringing the sword, man, especially to you Negroes, Latinos and Native Americans. And remember, ICE is still building all of these different facilities. I was reading an article earlier where now even FEMA is giving away over $700 million to these different states, funding them to build more detention centers, more alligator Alcatrazes, so to speak, because eventually these devils know they want to bring chaos, and however that's going to happen, we know it's going to be manufactured. It's going to be, like I said, a lot of it's going to be manufactured. It's going to be orchestrated, and some of it is going to be reaction from the citizens, to what these devils are doing, and it's going to most likely lead to, to violence, man, to where prophecy is going to have to be fulfilled. So this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. I'm reading in the NLT. It says, nation will go to war against nation and kingdom against. Oh, no, Salah, let me read it. This is a Matthew 24 and 4. It says, and Yahushua told them, don't let anyone mislead you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, that will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and threats of wars. Don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Right now, you got America talking about going to war with Venezuela. You got them talking about sending troops into Mexico. And now you got America getting ready to gear up for war against you American citizens, man. And over there, the situation with Russia and Ukraine. So, hey, all these things are all taking place simultaneously at once. All right. And it says, verse 7, nation will go to war against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Like I was reading in Isaiah the 19th chapter. It says there will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world. But all of this is only the first of the pains. There will be more to come. That's not what I wanted. Where's the one I wanted? Oh, well, that was a good one too. Damn, it's not what I wanted. Let me go this. Here we go. This is what I wanted. That was a good one too. This is a Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It says, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. You see, and that's what's coming here to America. And these elites want civil war. They want this place to be divided so that they could, basically crush this current system and bring in their new world order, man. It says any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself, his own kingdom will not survive. And that's what you see here. But like I said, this is being orchestrated. A lot of it is being done intentionally because these devils thinking that they're going to, that they're in control of every single aspect of, these situations so that they can get the desired results that they want. But ultimately, it's going to lead to their utter destruction and their judgment. But the point is, hey, we got to keep our eye on this because, hey, these are the type of situations that they want, man. They want civil war. They want division. They wanted to make it seem as if the Trump presidency is really fighting against the Democrat and the Democrat is really fighting against the Republicans, when at the end of the day, they're all two wings of the same bird, man. And they work hand in glove, for these elites to orchestrate a lot of these things so that they could gain more power and control and to, get what they want at the end of the day. But I thought this was interesting. But hey, we got to continue to keep our eye on this and see how this shit is going to unfold. But hey, you can't be ignorant, man. You can't look at this as if it's like it's not controlled, that it's not going to be used by these devils to deceive you people, man, at the end of the day. But we definitely should keep our eye on this, man. I'm going to close it there. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Until the next one, Shalom.